Hey, Jon here. In this lesson I'm going to show you a great and effective picking exercise that will help you out a lot, especially if you've had problems with 3-note per string when it comes to alternate picking before. Later on in the video I'm going to show you how to practice this with legato, and if you stick around for the whole video you're also going to get some advice on how to implement this into your actual practice schedule. This exercise will focus on the most difficult parts of 3-note per string alternate picking, and will also cover both inside and outside picking in the same exercise. If you do this one, you'll cover a lot of different motions. It will help you a lot with your overall alternate picking technique. I'm going to be using the 3-finger combinations, and that's the 1-2-3, 1-2-4, 1-3-4, and 2-3-4 combinations that you should be familiar with by now if you've seen any of my other videos. And the reason I do this is so I can actually focus on developing each individual group of fingers, because whatever scale you're going to end up playing is going to be using any of these 4 fingerings when it comes to 3-note per string picking at least. So working on them individually will set you up for a lot of different scales in the future. Right, so I'm going to demonstrate this with the 1-2-4 fingering first, just so you can see what the exercise is all about. And then I'm going to show you exactly how you should practice it for maximum results. Let's start here on the 5th fret. So again, we're going to use the 1-2-4 finger pattern. And the actual shape of this exercise is going to be the same, and it's going to be a 3-string shape. And the top note is always 1. You have 3 notes in the middle string, and then you have 1 note at the bottom as well. So basically it means that whatever 3-string group you're working on, the setup will be the same, or the shape will be the same for the exercise. We'll start here on the 5th fret, and you start with a downstroke. Then you go up, down, up on the middle group, down on the lowest string, and then you go back the same way you came. So you have up, up, and then down again. So we have 8 notes in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The way that I suggest that you practice this is to start at the 1st fret of the high E string, and we're going to play it once in each position using the transition time method. And if you're not familiar with that method, I'm going to link a video below so you can check that out as well. But it basically just means that we play quite slowly, but we make sure that our motions between the notes are as quick as possible. So instead of doing this, we want a sharp and quick motion. Right? Once in each position. And so on, all the way up until you run out of frets, and it's quite tight up here. So, and once you're done here, instead of doing the same thing going back again, you're going to use the planting method going back. And the planting method, again, is something that I've talked about in a previous video. I'm going to link that one as well. But in short, the planting method just means that you prepare each note with the pick before it. So like this, if I do it from the 15th fret here, and look at my right hand now. So what this does is that it makes my picking as efficient as possible. One of the things in particular that I really like about this planting technique is that it adapts to your preferred motion when it comes to the right hand picking. The only thing it does, it makes your preferred motion more efficient. So it won't change your technique in terms of like you're going from wrist picking to more elbow picking or anything like that. It will stick to whatever technique you're already using, but it will make it more efficient. So the idea here is that I play a note and then I immediately plant the pick physically on the strings. If it's an upstroke, I'm going to be more closer towards the floor. If it's a downstroke, I'm going to be closer towards the ceiling. So if I do that again without the distortion, you can look at it here. So you can really find the most efficient and fastest way to the next string this way. So once you reach the top with the transition time method, you're going to go back down using the planting method. It should sound something like this. And so on. Once you're done with that, you're gonna go back and start on the B string instead, go up using transition time. All the way up, and then you do the planting, going down, start on the G string, transition time up, planting down, start on the D string, transition time up, and planting going back down. You should do this with all 4 combinations. So I showed it here with 1, 2, 4, but you should do this with 1, 2, 3, so that would look like this. Do it the same way, start down here, up with transition time, down with planting. And then 1, 3, 4, and finally 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 different variations, and you want to do this on all string groups. And if you're really serious about this stuff, you should also do the same thing, but starting with an upstroke. If you feel like that takes too much time out of your day, you can also do upstrokes every other day. So you start with a downstroke one day, do upstrokes the next. Or maybe you do the first 2 combination with downstrokes one day, and the 3rd and 4th combination with upstrokes, and then turn it around the day 2, so you get both. You can divide it up however you want, but if you want to do it all, basically just go downstrokes for all exercises and then upstrokes for all exercises. So that's a real workout for your right hand. And then for all you awesome pickers out there, you could also try the string skip version. This one only have 2 string groups to cover on a 6-string guitar, so while being more difficult, it also takes half the time. So you basically put 1 extra string in between like this. So if we had this one, now it would instead go to the G string and then to the A string. So I have this extra string here and extra string here. So I will still practice that the same way. So transition time up and then going back with the planting. This exercise is also excellent for legato, and you can use hybrid picking or just alternate picking to go between the strings. I use hybrid picking, so the 1, 2, 3 would be like this. Do the same thing, up and then down. If you do the legato version, stick to transition time all the way up and all the way back. So you would go and so on. Don't push the speed on this exercise, rather focus on absolute accuracy. Pushing the speed is better to do after you've done your technique practice in general. We're building a skill and not a muscle, so practicing at the absolute fastest tempo you can play will not improve your skill. Yes, you need to try to play faster, but save that for your playing for fun / working on specific solos or licks. That way you'll ensure you're getting the best of both worlds. And this is very important. So when I do this type of practice, I make sure that I make as few mistakes as possible and really focus on accuracy. Another tip is that I frequently watch Netflix or listen to a podcast while doing these kind of long form, steady state cardio exercise on the guitar to relieve the boredom. This strategy has been used by a lot of virtuoso players ranging from Franz Liszt on piano to Paul Gilbert. In Liszt's case, he suggested reading a book while practicing exercises. You can't get more legit than Franz Liszt, so if you don't know who that is, check him out. The thing is though, as long as you're sure to maintain your technique and accuracy, using these strategies will not hurt your playing, only help it, since a lot of this is a numbers game. How many reps you can get in per day. So if watching Netflix or listening to a podcast or reading a book while you do your technique practice, as long as you maintain proper technique, perfect playing, good forms, you don't hurt yourself, and being relaxed, that can be like a secret practice weapon for you. So you can get extra time in. Because a lot of this technique stuff, when it all is said and done, if you do more good reps than the next player, you will probably have a better technique. And it's not a competition at all. I don't mean that, but I just mean that if you have a hard time getting your practice in, I would rather spend actual focused practice on learning something new, working on ear training, transcribing music, composing, anything like that. But then when it comes to the technique work, you might as well do that in front of the TV. All right, so hopefully everything was crystal clear. And if you have any questions, just post them below. But please like and subscribe, as that will really help my channel. And if my channel blows up, I can post even more content for you guys.